Hey everybody, welcome back to Piano Time. In a previous video, we learned how to play Let It Be by the Beatles in simple 3-note chords. In that video, I said I'd be doing an intermediate video teaching you how to play it in 6-note chords, and I've gotten a few requests for that one. So here is the video with the 6-note chord version of Let It Be. So let's start by looking at the chord sheet for Let It Be. As you remember, a chord sheet has the lyrics of the song, and above the lyrics we have these capital letters that tell us which chord to play and when to play them. We're going to start with verse 2 of this song since we did verse 1 in the last video. And as you can see, the first chord that we need to play is C. Remember, the way to play a simple C chord, or any chord, is to start with the foundational or root note of that chord. For the C chord, it's going to be C. We're going to skip a white key, play the next white key. That is E, which is our major third of the chord. And then we're going to skip the next white key, play the next white key, which is G, and that's the 5th of the chord. Again, we call those notes the 3rd and the 5th because in our C major scale, our Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol, La, Ti, Do, those are the 3rd and 5th notes of that scale. So we play the first note, the root, the 3rd, and the 5th together. That gives us our C major chord. All right, you already know this stuff, so that's your review. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take these 3-note chords and expand them into 6-note chords. Let's take it one step at a time. Up until now, for simplicity's sake, we've been playing all of these 3-note chords with one hand, like our C, our G, our F. What we're going to do now is we're going to split those 3-note chords between 2 hands. And it's going to look like this. We're going to use our left thumb for the root. We're going to move our right thumb over to the 3rd. We're going to move our right index finger over to the 5th. Play those together, and that gives us the exact same C major chord, but now we're playing them with 2 hands, which frees up some digits here to play some other notes. The first note that we're going to add is up here. So we're going to add to our pattern. We have white key, skip a white key, play a white key, skip a white key, play a white key, and then we're going to skip 2 white keys and play the next white key, which will give us another C, which is the root, but it's up an octave. If we play all 4 of those notes together, that gives us a 4-note C major chord. The cool thing is that this pattern is going to be the exact same for almost every chord that we play in this song until we get to the 7th and the 6th. But for the rest of the chords, it's going to be the exact same shape. Let's see how that works. We start with the C. The next chord that we need for this song is G. In order to play the G, all we need to do is take this same chord shape, lift our fingers, and find the new root with our left thumb. The root for G is going to be G, so we move down to the G note, and we bring all of our fingers with us, and if we play them together, that'll give us a G major chord. We have our root, which is G, our 3rd, our 5th, and our octave, our root that's up an octave there, our 4-note G major chord. All right, in order to make an A minor chord, same shape. We lift our hands, and now we need to find the new root, which is A. Again, find that with our left thumb. Move everything over, 1 white key up, and that's going to give us an A minor. So now we have the root, we have a minor 3rd, we have the 5th, and we have the octave, and that's our A minor. The last chord for this line is going to be F. So for that, we just lift our hand, find the new root with our left thumb, which is F, slide down 2 white keys, and that gives us our F major chord. Let's put all those together with the words. Back up to the C, and when the broken, and move over to the G for hearted people, up to the A minor, living in the, down to the F, world agree. All right. Now to the next line, the next chord we need is C. So back up to the C, slide up. There will be an answer. We need the G chord. Answer, let it be. It's the same walk down that we had in the 3-note chord version. We can just go to 2-note chords for after the F, we go to E minor with a 2-note chord, and then D minor. And then we can go to C with a 2-note chord, or add in our other 2 notes and finish with a 4-note chord for that C. All right, moving on. Same chords, different words. For though they may be parted, there is still a chance that they may see. There will be an answer. chorus. Again, we're going to have the same shape for all of these chords. So let's go up to the A minor, find the root, new root with your left thumb, A minor. Let it be, onto C, let it be, let it, down to F, B, let it, and we can go down to this C, B, or up to the C, if we, either one works. B, there will be an answer, let it be. And then that repeats. Let's take a look at the instrumental. Now we're going to go through this instrumental twice in this video. We'll go into more detail the second time through, but for now I'll show you what these chords look like in their 4-note chord shape. So we're going to start with F. So, and for this instrumental we're going to start way up here in this F up here. We could start here, but I want to have a little bit more room to move down the piano keyboard. So we'll start with this F with our root, which is F, 3rd, 5th, root up an octave. All right, that's our F. The next chord is C/E. That means play the C major chord but add an E in the bass. For now, we're not going to worry about the /E. We'll talk about that later. So let's just play the C major. Okay, same chord shape. And then we're going to move up to the D minor. We haven't played D minor yet in this song, but that's going to be the exact same shape. We just move up one white key with all of our fingers. That's the D minor. Then back down to the C. Now, B flat is a chord that we have not seen much of. And it's going to be a totally different shape than the other chords in this song. Let's take a moment and build this chord. And if you remember the intro course where we had the chord hack for how to make a major chord, we can use that now. We need to find the root. The root for B flat is going to be B flat. So this is the B, the back door of the main house. 1/2 step down is B flat, right there, this black key. So that's going to be our root. In order to make a major chord, the hack is we count up 4 half steps. 1, 2, 3, 4 from the root, and that'll give us the major third. That's this D right here, okay? And then we're going to count up 3 half steps from there. 1, 2, 3. That'll give us the 5th. And if we play them together, that'll be our B flat major chord. All right. So it'll take a little bit of time probably to work on the transition from that C up to the B because it's a different shape. You might have to practice that really slowly, moving this C to this B flat. Okay. But again, anytime that something is challenging, especially these transitions, taking it slowly is your best bet. Okay. C, B flat. Now, if you want to add the 4th note of that B flat, it'll be this B flat up here, the octave. And then the next chord is F major. It's F/A, which means play the F major and add A in the bass. Let's just play F major for now. So we're going to go down to the F. And we'll talk about the /A later. And then the next chord is G. So up 1 white key to the G major. The next chord is back down to the F. And then we finish it off with a C. And that happens twice. Okay? So we'll put that together and we'll start with this F. So F and then C. D minor, down to C, B flat, that transition there, and down to the F, G, F, C. Okay. The little cheat version of doing that instrumental is just playing those 2-note chords all the way from the F. So if you start with this. It's not the same, but almost kind of sounds the same. Way easier. All right, so at this point, I think probably the best thing to do is to play through the song in those 4-note chords. And it might take you a little while before you get comfortable transitioning from one to the other. Take your time. And then as you feel more comfortable with that shape, playing with 2 hands, then we'll move on to adding the 5th and 6th note. And we'll do that for this third verse here. So we're going to start with a C again. So we're going to find our 4-note chord for the C. Root, third, fifth, root up an octave, C major. In order to add our 5th and 6th notes, we're going to go down here. We're going to stretch out with our left hand and our pinky down to this octave. You want to play the C with your pinky, the C with your thumb, and then this 5th with your index finger. And that'll give you your left hand, which you can add to the right hand. We'll talk more about this in terms of music theory later on, but your right hand is playing in a C chord first inversion. It is worth noting that with this 6-note chord, we have not added any notes. We've just added keys, and we've just doubled and tripled up. So now we're playing 2 Gs and we're playing 3 Cs. And that is just a more full C major chord. Now the cool thing is that the pattern of keys on the piano for all these chords except for the 7th and 6th are going to be the exact same, which is great. We can go from our C to the next chord that we need, which is G, and if we can find the root with our left thumb, we can move everything together, slide over to the G, and now we have a 6-note G major chord. Again, we have the G down here in our pinky, we have the D, which is the 5th in our index finger, our left index finger, G here in our left thumb, and so that's our left hand, and then we have the 3rd, 5th, and root up an octave, and that's our G major chord, 6-note version. Then moving on to the A minor, all we need to do is take that same shape and slide up 1 white key. Now again, everything moves the same amount, just 1 white key over, play there. I find it more comfortable to play the D, the 5th, up here in between the black keys. Remember, this white key doesn't just end right here. You can play it up here, which in this case is just a more comfortable way of playing that G. So we're going to move from the G to the A minor. And the next chord that we have is F major 7. Cool. All right, this is how we're going to make our F major 7. First, we're going to find our F major chord. Again, find the root with your left thumb, slide everything over. If we want to make the F major into an F major 7, we're going to want to play the 7th note of the F major scale. And again, that's our do, re, mi's. If we start on the F, that'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's our 7th note of the F major scale, which is that E right there. So if we're playing our F major chord, we're going to want to switch this octave from our pinky into our ring finger here. We can play the 7th, and playing that together gives us that nice jazzy sound to that F major. Just we're still playing an F major. We're just giving that chord some more color. By the way, you can ignore this F major 7, F6 thing and just play F, and it'll sound just fine. Oh, let me just give you a quick chord hack. Anytime you want to make a major 7 chord, all you need to do, instead of having to do the whole scale and find the 7th note of the scale, if you take your root and go up 1 octave, so F to F, and go down 1/2 step, that will always give you the major 7th of that chord. So that's for your F major 7. Let's just make it one more major 7th chord. Let's go to a C, and that's our C major. And if we take this octave and go down 1/2 step, that'll give us a C major 7. It's a really nice sound, right? So let's just do that with one more chord. Let's go to the G major. Now with the G major, when you go down a 1/2 step, it's not going to be this next white key, because the down a 1/2 step is going to be this black key here. So in order to play a G major 7, you want to play this note right here. If you go down here, this is a nice chord. That's a G minor 7, but we'll talk about that in future videos. Let's go back to our F major 7. And then the next chord that we need is F6. For F6, we're going to want to play the 6th note of the F major scale, and that's right here, this D. All right, so we put that together. Let's go back to the C and start the 3rd verse, nice and slow. When the is, go to the G, cloudy, there is still a light that, now go to the F major 7, shines on me. And the next chord is C, shine until tomorrow, that's G, let it be. Okie dokie. Now, you might notice that that walk down there looks a little different. The F, E minor, D minor, C that we've been playing for all the other verse walk downs is kind of a cheat. So this is the more advanced way of playing it. This is F, and then this next chord says C/E. That means play the C, but add E in the bass. So play the C major, let's go down to the C. And we're going to add E in the bass. So let's take a look over here. We see E here. We're going to put in this E into that chord. And the next chord is D minor. So we go up to the D minor and then back down to the C. And it does sound nicer than that little cheat that I did, but it's definitely harder to do. It's this F, and then we go down to the C, add the E. Okay, and I know that for those of you that this 6-note chord version is new, it's gonna take all of your energy to just transition from one chord to the next. But as you get more comfortable with it, we can add a little bit of movement. We can just like play the same chord, same exact notes, and just like play instead of just once every time you see the chord, we can play twice. I wake up to the sound of music, Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. Okie dokie, and now we're to the chorus. Let's try the chorus with our 6-note chords. It's going to be the same shape for all of these chords. So let's slide our way up to the A minor. Let it be, let it be. Gotta warm up my voice. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. All right. So that's almost the whole song. One more time through the outro. This time we'll do 6-note chord versions of these chords. And we're going to start with the F. Let's go way up here to this F, so we have some more room to move down. Play our F major. Once again, that is our root, 3rd, 5th. Just like our 3-note chord version, then we've added the root up an octave, the root down an octave, and then the 5th in the middle here. Okay, so we have F. The next chord is C/E. That means play C major. Let's do that. And then add E in the bass. So let's take a look down here in this area. We see that E here, we can add that with our middle finger here. All right. And then the next chord is a D minor. So we come up to the D minor, same shape as those other chords. Back down to the C. Same shape, just one white key down for all of our fingers. And the next key, back to this B flat. So remember, the 3-note chord version of B flat is this as the root, B flat, D, and then F. That's our 3-note chord version. And when I was first learning the song, this is all I played for the B flat because it was too hard to play the 6-note chord version. But the more you practice, the easier this becomes of adding the octave up here, the octave down below, and then the 5th right here is this F. The next chord is F/A, which means play the F major, and then add A in the bass. Down here we have A that we can play with our middle finger. And then the next chord is G, down to the F, and then finish it off with a C. All right. Now, it's going to sound something like this. Not bad for me. That is the whole song, Let It Be, the intermediate version, 6-note chords. Have fun with it. I know that this is probably gonna be challenging, but with each new song that we learn and you continue to play some of these same chords, it's gonna make it easier and easier and easier to just find when you see A minor, you're just gonna know, oh, that's A minor, because I know that this is the root and everything else comes around it, and you're just gonna get more and more comfortable with it. So stick with it. If you get frustrated, take it slow, take it slow. Let me know if you have any specific questions, and thanks very, very much for tuning in. We'll see you in the next video.